Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are digging into a really powerful idea from Andy Ellis's book, 1% Leadership. It's a concept that might just completely change how you think about what it means to be a leader. It's not about some huge, dramatic transformation, but something a lot more doable. I mean, think about it. We're always sold this image of the heroic leader, right? The one who makes that single, brilliant move that changes everything. But what if that's not really how it works? What if that whole idea is exactly what makes leadership feel so impossible, so out of reach for the rest of us? And this is where Andy Ellis just nails the problem. So many books and articles are selling us these silver bullets, just do this one thing and you'll be a superstar. But he points out that each piece of advice is really just one single strand. It's not the whole rope. And real strength, well, that comes from weaving all those different strands together. And that, right there, is the big idea. 1% leadership isn't about looking for some magic formula. Nope. It's about committing to small, tiny, incremental improvements. It's the compounding effect of getting just a little bit better every single day that builds that strong leadership braid. Honestly, it's a much more realistic and sustainable way to become the leader you want to be. So, where does a journey like this even begin? Well, the book is really clear on this one. It has to start with you. Before you can lead a team or an organization, you have to get a handle on your own personal leadership. It's all about your mindset and how you show up. To kick things off, we've got to look inward. And Ellis gives us this incredible metaphor to work with: your own personal museum of past grievances. Just picture it for a second. A mental space you've built, exhibit by exhibit, filled with every single time you felt wronged or frustrated. We all have one of these. But here's the problem. This museum, it's not a library for learning. It's a monument to resentment. Every time you walk through its halls in your mind, you're not growing, you're just reliving old hurts. And that negativity, it bleeds into everything, holding you back from leading yourself, never mind anyone else. Which brings us to a really piercing question. I mean, you wouldn't buy a ticket to go visit a museum filled with other people's negativity, right? So why do you choose to spend so much time living inside your own? The very first 1% improvement is just realizing you have a choice to stop visiting. And maybe, just maybe, you can start taking the exhibits down. Okay, so once you start working on your own mindset, the next logical step is to apply that 1% thinking to how you lead other people. This part is all about making small, deliberate shifts to create an environment where your whole team can actually succeed. And when it comes to your team, you're faced with a really critical choice. Are you trying to be irreplaceable, or are you aiming to be unclonable? Now, they might sound kind of similar, but believe me, their impact on a team couldn't be more different. See, being irreplaceable is a total trap. It feels good for the ego, but it makes you a single point of failure. You become a bottleneck. But being unclonable, that's about empowerment. It means you have this unique blend of skills, and your main job is to teach it and to share it. You empower others. This doesn't make you less important, it makes your entire team stronger. And it actually frees you up to tackle new, bigger challenges. That shift right there, that's a massive 1% win. And that brings us to the final piece of the puzzle: organizational leadership. This is where those 1% improvements really start to scale. It becomes less about managing individuals and more about building resilient systems that let everyone do their best work. Here's a true test for any leader. How do you react when things inevitably go wrong? Because, let's be real, they always will. In that moment, you're standing at a fork in the road with two very different paths ahead of you. The easy path? Blame people. It's a quick fix, feels a little satisfying, but it's a dead end. All it does is destroy trust. But the better path, the 1% leader's path, is to look at the system. The question completely changes. It goes from who messed this up to how did our process let this happen and how do we make it better? That single shift can transform a culture of fear into a culture of trust and learning. Oh, I love this quote. It just gets to the absolute heart of great leadership. We love to celebrate the heroes who swoop in and fix some massive 5-alarm fire. But you know who the real heroes are? They're the ones doing the boring maintenance, the systematic day in, day out work that makes sure the fire never, ever starts. That's a true 1% leadership mindset. Okay, so let's tie this all together and bring it back to that idea of the braid. We've talked about these three big areas: personal, team, and organizational leadership, kind of like they're separate strands. But the real magic happens when you start weaving them all together.
And you don't do it all at once. You do it one tiny, almost unnoticeable strand at a time. Just 1%. That's it. 1% more self-aware, 1% more empowering to your team, 1% more focused on building better systems. Every single day.
Because ultimately, this isn't about picking one domain and becoming a master of it. The real breakthrough, the thing that separates the truly great leaders from everyone else, is the constant accumulation of these small improvements across all three of those areas. That's how you weave a leadership braid that is strong, resilient, and powerful. So I want to leave you with a final challenge from the book. Don't go out and try to boil the ocean. Don't try to change everything at once. Just ask yourself this one simple question. What is the one tiny, defensible step you can take today to get started? Whatever that is, that's your first 1%. That's the first strand in your braid.